All right. Hello, 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 everybody. How many of you feel that you are at a place in your entrepreneurial journey where fundraising is the next thing to overcome or to address? Please type fundraising in the chat box. Thank you so much. How many of you feel that fundraising and the thought of it gives you a nightmare or BGBs, as they say? And if it is a yes to all of these very important questions, then you're at the right place because we have a very, very interesting guest who's going to answer all your questions and my questions as well. So that this nightmare can become more of a dream and more of a reality. For everybody here, I'm Zareen, co-founder Zach Business Consultants, and welcome to the Founders Fire. I have a little background about me because some of us are meeting for the first time. I have about 18 to 20 years now of experience having worked with multiple brands in retail, having worked many, many years with retail chains like Crossword bookstores and Shopper Stop. And over the last 5 years, I've been doing my dream job, hardly a job, but my dream business with Ankita, working with startup founders and helping and supporting them in this incredible journey, which takes them to places where is really challenge every aspect of being, I think, a human. Like business is one part, but it really challenges and pushes every pore. And that's why exactly we're here, and we're building this incredible community so that we can support founders like you in all aspects of, of running a business that excites you and makes impact in the world. Over to you, Ankita.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. I'm Ankita, co-founder and CEO of Zach. And today is a very special and incredible Founders Fire episode because it's Zareen, my co-founder's birthday. So we can drop in some wishes for her.
Yes. Thank you so much.
She's joining us from Bali today. And together, the whole initiative for any business, it's a great time to raise funds. Once you reach at that spectrum, you're doing really well in business. So it's absolutely a very relevant topic, as well as someone who has done it in the past and done it really well is going to be joining us. So a little bit about me while the wishes are going on for Zareen. I've spent around 2 decades in media and tech. Worked with GroupM and worked with a tech outfit called Pixian, which was last sold to Siemens in 2019, and I primarily helped them to go to market as well as a little bit around funding and getting the investors. But I've not been into the VC boardrooms. I was strictly marketing, so I really want to know from Neha. And Neha and I met during a yoga retreat when I was ringing bells, walking the corridors and waking people up, and wandered over the corridors and doing some downward dogs. So let's welcome Neha out here. So go on, Zareen, introduce Neha.
Yeah, today we're joined by an incredibly special woman, Neha Kesarwani, travel tech founder, marketing leader, spiritual leader, and writer. As an ex-co-founder and former CMO of Virtu, she raised more than $3.5 million in seed funding, scaling from 5 New York locations to over 1,000 locations across 65 cities. Voto was backed by Techstars and NYC, FF Venture Capital, Ingwe Capital, and in the past, she's written also for the very prestigious Forbes and Reader's Digest. These days, Neha splits her time between publishing for Bloomsbury and spiritual entrepreneurship with Soulwise Health, and does some consulting with startups herself while writing for her travel blog. Wow, Neha, that's quite a mouthful. And thank you so much for being here. And I also thank the amazing audience for being here with us today. Neha, do tell us a little bit about you.
Thank you for that lovely introduction, Zareen. Happy birthday. Can you all hear me?
Thank you. Yes, loud and clear.
Yes, so I'm so happy to join this place and share about my experiences. Well, I do understand that fundraising can be a very, very lonely journey. Nobody understands how crazy it is, and you have to be really insane to be doing something, creating a business. But it is almost like jumping out of a plane before checking your parachute. It's like roller coaster of emotions. So I'm happy to discuss and share some of my experiences that resonates with people, and they can know that it's possible, and it's very real. You go through real stuff, and I hope I can share that.
Awesome.
Amazing.
Very, very well.
Karthik, have you spotlighted us so that it's a little
Yes.
easier? All right, great. All right, I'm joining in from my phone, so I'm not able to see it clearly. Awesome. Thank you.
So very welcome, Neha. So we'll dive right into it. Today you're in a different avatar where you're like, working with Bloomsbury as well as building your startup. So let's take you a little bit to the flashback and in your past life. So tell us about, as a healer and a writer, it's different now, but what is that one boardroom memory that you have? And what happened in that boardroom when you first walked in asking a VC for money?
And also, before you jump into that, Neha, do tell us about what you do. A lot of us may not know. Tell us about the company, the product, who was your target audience. Just a little brief about that, so that we're all on the same page.
Sure. So Verto is it's still working, and it is an on-demand short-term storage provider. So we started this in New York. What it did was, if imagine if you're checking out of your Airbnb, and you have few hours to kill before you catch a flight. We had multiple locations where you could just drop off your bags within 5 minutes of wherever you were. So that was the
Wow.
thing, like within 5 minutes, because everybody wanted instant gratification. And when, especially when you're irritated, you're like, where do I put this bag off and enjoy my time, because I don't know if I'll be able to come to New York again or to San Francisco again. So we solved that problem, and we try to do that in, yeah, 5 6 countries globally.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah,
So,
sorry, go on. Ankita, you were asking your question. Maybe
and
just
the
repeat it
next
again.
question, obviously, as I said, right,
Oh,
like, was
the
it,
question that you asked.
how did you tell us about your memory of walking in the first time and meeting a VC?
So one of the memories that was really scary actually was when we had gotten into Techstars. Okay, so Techstars is a very elite startup accelerator, and it's very difficult to be selected there. So they train you for 3 months and they help you refine your business. We didn't know what we were getting into. We were just very lucky to get through it. There were like 10 startups that were selected every year out of thousands of applications. So we wanted to impress after getting inside, right? We wanted to impress. And while we are stalking and, being at our best, suddenly these investors and these lead mentors, they tell us, okay, just stop and stop trying to impress us. We want to
Oh,
see,
wow.
we want to know what the real problem is. We have already selected you, so just take off your mask and tell us your real story. And we were just taken aback because now we have to be real, and they've done it. They have done it for years and years, so they know what
Yeah.
you're facing. There's a reason we have come to them, right? So that was very interesting, very scary, but also that is what helped us move forward, because we had to let go of our ego then and
And
just,
you were prepared to be honest and truthful
of
when
course, we
faced
had
with,
to be. We had no other
yeah,
choice.
they would catch you, right? They would catch you if you
Knew,
were
right?
lying.
So they could see through us.
Hmm.
And not that we were lying, we had the metrics, but
Yeah,
still,
yeah,
like we had to be real,
yeah.
and we had to ask about the real problems. Like, can you help us
Hmm.
with this? Because we really don't know this. So, yeah, that was one of the memories.
Wow, I love it. I love that. And I think this is a great takeaway, right? For all of us founders looking at raising funds. You go in preparing, saying that you need to keep your best foot forward. But here is an opportunity where somebody's telling you that, hey, you're already selected, you're here because we believe in what you're doing. But tell us, how can we really help you? right? And that just, I don't know, for me it's almost like a relief. I'm like, okay, these are people who are really keen,
You can
and they're
trust
not
them.
only looking at the fluff, and they really are here to help. And therefore it doesn't mean that my dream has to go into take another form. That, maybe they're here, so I don't know, I just love that thought. And the fact that you were able to be honest and have that conversation, and just to extend that, right? So as an idea, and from moving from a napkin sketch, as they say, to something that investors can actually believe in, how long was that journey? How long did you take from when you were just ideating to actually going and pitching? And was this the first place? I'm sure it's not the first place where you pitched. Like, how many times did you pitch before you were called into a room?
So I'll start with when it started as an idea. It was during our vacation in LA when
Which year was this, Leah?
this was around 2017 January.
Okay, all
And
right.
we were on a road trip, and we had this problem. We faced this in LA, and we could, like, our vacation day was wasted basically because we couldn't let off our
Keep
bags
your luggage anywhere.
luggage anywhere. And so that is when we were both surprised that how come it's not solved in the US. I mean, US, everybody is doing a startup here, and how is it not solved? So maybe it's not a real problem. Maybe it's just us. But like something, there was this nagging thought. So I came back to New York. My partner at the time was living in California, and I just walked into the streets with research questions. So I also have a background in market research. I studied that in.
Okay,
So I thought, why not just
amazing.
for a bit? And I went into the streets. And if you've been to New York, if you see people walking there, they don't like to be interrupted. They're walking
Yeah,
fast. And I literally
yes.
went and asked them these questions after many rejections. Some people, and there was snubbing also, but there were
Mhm.
some people who were willing to answer. And it was very interesting to know that there are a lot of people, around 30% of our sample size, which was very random. It was not a biased data that I was looking at. It was
Audience, yeah.
absolutely unbiased, random, who were traveling, and they had gone through this, which when we looked into the secondary data, we could see, okay, it's a legit problem, but nobody is solving it. So there are storage units, but how do you get to those storage units?
Not
Then
convenient, not,
it's not convenient, right?
yeah.
Like, if you can go to the storage unit, you can go to the airport also, put your luggage and come back. So we had to do something which was instant. So that is when we thought of,
Mm.
finding these gift shops that had free space, which was
Oh,
much used. And we thought they need to be monetized. Like, these spaces need to be monetized. Only then they will, these shopkeepers will be willing to help and take the luggage. So there were a lot of operational challenges in the beginning because of 9/11 and security reasons.
yeah, and security and safety. Yeah, people say, I don't want to keep anybody else's luggage. Who knows what's in
Right.
it?
So we had to take care
Right.
of all of those little things, and we tested with 5 locations for a long time. When the shopkeepers started making money without putting in anything, and it was a revenue share model, well, they were interested, and then we replicated that in multiple locations, and that's how it grew. And then
Very
after that, when we found our first 1,000 customers, this took a long time. This almost took like 10 months or so. And suddenly we saw that there were many other startups who had come up in this space. And
Oh, wow. Okay.
that was the moment when me and my ex-partner, as immigrants in the US, we thought that we need to do something about this. Clearly, people are interested in this, and we
Yeah.
validation, we have customers.
Yeah.
So let's take it more
Yeah.
seriously.
Copying is the best form of flattery, right? So
Right,
go
but
ahead.
it was
You
also
have it, brother.
scary. That why are other people doing it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I would say that we got a little lucky because we then found right people who made the right introductions, and somebody advised us rightly to go into an accelerator because our reasons was to find a network. We didn't know
Mhm.
anybody. We didn't have the support system. We needed the money also to expand to build the team. So we went into an accelerator, and that's how it started. So it was not instantly going into the boardroom and raising money. It was first going through this grueling training and then going into the rooms to get raise money when our business was refined and tight.
Right. So, very interesting thoughts here. So, number one, what I learned in the first segment itself is one, once you have an idea, it's very important to go do market research and primary market research by talking to the customers,
Absolutely, especially in consumer businesses.
especially in consumer businesses. And plus you were doing consumer plus tech, right? So it becomes extremely important. The third thing that after you've done that is about going in, interacting with your vendors, suppliers, as well as you went through an accelerator. What about people who don't go to an accelerator, Neha, and they are straight away have reached a level, right, where they've established a business and they're directly starting to deal with the venture capitalist or angels, and or how important is an accelerator for a business? Can people do without it?
Sure,
And
yes.
also, can you also explain, because there might be people here who don't understand pre-seed, seed, venture capital, angel, right? Can you just also quickly touch upon all these terms and explain that? Would be great to hear it from you.
Sure. So first I'll answer Ankita.
Yes.
Also, Ankita, I think as a startup, as a founder, you first have to evaluate what are you looking for. You need to know what you want. So, for example, we went to an accelerator because we needed a network, we needed mentors, we needed to know somebody to help us build that business initially, right? Like that was what we needed. But if you can bootstrap and get to a certain level, your valuation will be much, much higher. If through bootstrapping you can become profitable also, well, your valuation will be much higher. So you will attract even more investors. So I don't think you should glorify fundraising if you can do it by yourself. So I always say that, and I know that very seasoned VCs have also said that why are you running after that much money, because that is the amount of pressure also you're taking in, right? So if you can do it all by yourself, great. So ask yourself what you're looking for. And
Yourself also includes friends and family, right? Like the first round needs
friends
to,
and family who
guys,
have
yeah.
experience, because people have so
Mm,
many things to say. If you have,
mm,
people who have been there, done that,
yeah.
ask them for sure. And I would always say, like, have mentors and have the right support system. That is so underrated and so important.
So
And
accelerator can be replaced by either friends and families, or if you have a good network who is willing to support you, or good consultants and coaches who are already mentoring you to build your business. If
yes, absolutely. Who know the stuff, because ultimately it is important to build your business. You're doing all of this because you want to build your business. So that is very, very important, I think. Yeah. But know what you want. That is important. Yeah.
all right, so if you for the
Love it. Yeah.
audience explain what is
Yeah.
pre-seed, seed, and Series A, B.
Sure. So, pre-seed would be that initial amount of money that it's a round before seed round. It is, let's say, to call it, it's more of an unorganized way of raising funds where you have more of angel investors, more of smaller checks. It is not in a very defined way. So that I would say is pre-seed. That is what was for us. Techstars was more of a pre-seed round. And then seed round, usually, again, like, the benchmarks are different. In India, it's different. In US, it's different. It's always changing. From what I know from my experience, when we raised our first big round was $1.85 million, and that was a seed round at the time.
Hmm.
But in many places you would consider it Series A also. In many places you would consider it pre-seed also. So
Right.
it depends, right? And then the next round that we raised was another $2 million. Now this one was not Series A; it was called a bridge round
Okay.
before
Mm.
Series A. So the basically it depends on certain levels. So you have to have certain amount of customers before you can go for a higher round. You need to have more ambitious plans, growth plans. So it depends on multiple factors. I hope I'm able to answer that question.
That was really helpful. And how much do you dilute typically? And how much should a founder, like, how much should they be willing to put on the table?
Um, yeah, so the way I want to answer this question is through my experience. Okay, for us, it was not a big problem. I'll tell you why. Because we went through a very set system. We went through the accelerator. So when you go through an accelerator like a Techstars, by the virtue of being associated by such an accelerator, you are valued at a certain amount, which is 3 to 4 million. At the time, it was 3 to 4 million. So if you could be at any stage. We had some people in our cohort who were at idea stage,
Mm.
and some people who already had established businesses. They were all valued at the same amount, right? And it's the same valuation because they have a fixed amount of equity they take to give you a certain amount of money, and then they have a convertible note for another
Mm.
amount of money. So because they set that standard, you grow from there. And then when you're raising larger rounds, it largely depends on your lead investor. It's a negotiation that happens. That is again where your network helps. Your mentors help. Your investors who are really invested in you, not in just terms of money but growth, they help you. So for us, it was all of those factors that helped us. Normally, they say it is 5 or 6 times of your projected revenue. But I would say that that is still again like up in the air. The reality is this, like, you better like discuss it with people around. And if you're going through an accelerator, it'll be pretty fixed in that sense that this is how it's going to go forward.
Got it.
Excellent. And Neha, so you said you raised multiple, right? The first time was $1.5 million, and then you had the second round. Why, with each stage, what was the fundamental reason you were raising money? Was it for more for marketing? Was it for operations? Was it for getting a team? What was it? Can you just take us through why would somebody give you money, right?
Yes. Yeah. Sure. Great question, actually, because we need to know why we are raising money. And for that, your business model has to be, your numbers have to be very tight, very realistic. So the first time when we were doing it, it was clearly to hire a team and to establish a localized model, in New York itself. We were not thinking of expansion during the first round. It was during the second round when we started talking about expansion, when our real roadblocks started showing up in
So
doing it in
how
the same city.
big was the team that you were going to
Breaking up
hire?
there.
Like how many people were you looking at at that
We
time?
see so we had decided as to what departments we wanted: operation, we wanted technology, we wanted marketing. Period. We did not need HR. I was doing all the HR hiring.
Right.
We did not at Content and digital marketing was a very important piece because it was a consumer business. So again, like, you have to know what do you need in the business. So what do you need in the business decides what are going to be the pillars, and for those pillars, how many people would you need. You have to do that math.
Right.
It's all mathematical. And that's how you're able to convince people. You just can't go and say that, oh, I need to hire a team for what is your pitch
Exactly.
with the team?
Specifics
Very
become very
as
important.
specific as you can, the easier it becomes for the investor to trust you.
Yeah. And did you guys do it yourself, or was just being part of the accelerator? You went through all the steps that helped you arrive at the best way to ask for money.
See, you have to do everything yourself. They're not like, they have many different startups and many different businesses that they're invested in. So again, like, the work has to be done by founders, period.
Right.
To do the work. Nobody will come and do the work for you.
Handhold you or do it for you.
No, nobody does that. You have to take the initiative. You have to go ask wherever you're stuck. It's a great help to have people who can help you make those decisions.
And
That is,
asking the right questions,
and
right? Even
ask
before
right
you
questions.
go into a room. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can go deeper. So can I tell you something? Like so many times we think we know about our business, but when the right people start asking you the questions, you don't
Yeah.
know anything about your business. Your fundamentals are not right. And that exercise is so necessary with the right
I
people.
love that you said that because I mean, India knows about pitching and fundraising through Shark Tank, right? That's our
Yeah.
reference in the country. And
Uh,
so sometimes people fall in for the story, the founder
mm,
story. Sometimes it's about the matrices. But I think the fundamental part is any VC fund actually bets on the founders, right?
100%.
It
100%.
is them. So the more clarity that the founder brings in with resilience, right?
Yeah.
Clarity, resilience, vision, going in for the long haul. And we keep talking about the why, right? Why are you doing this in the first place? Are you going to stick till the end? When
Yes.
everything is against you, are you going to continue doing that? I always say that's when somebody is going to be ready to put money into the business. So a great idea is fabulous, scope is fabulous, but at the end of the day, they put money on the founder. And I
100.
love what you said that you have to do it yourself,
Yeah.
right? And you need to find people who are going to ask you the right questions so that you reach the answers that you need to get to,
Yeah.
because that's where people are going to put money. They're going to bet on you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank
Like
you
it
for
is the
that.
founders that they're because startups and ideas and market situations, everything can alter, but it is the person
Yeah.
you're betting into. And that's what also that can be such confidence boost. Like for us, when we realize that, we were like, okay, we don't have to worry so much. We are with the right people. And let's just go for it. Let's make mistakes and be embarrassed. It's fine.
Most
That's not
important.
a valuable
Be
lesson.
ready to
Make
laugh at
mistakes.
yourself.
You're so full of yourself. It's okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So saying that, right? Absolutely, VCs or your investors are betting on the founder. But as a young founder who is not probably going through that accelerator route, what are the three, four things that they really should have? Is it the deck? Is it their data metrics? What should they do as a pre-preparation once they are ready to raise funds?
Sure. So, I would say deck. Now, again, a deck doesn't mean presentation. Pitch deck means that you have your metrics in place and you have everything simplified. See, you have to understand that this person you're going to ask for money doesn't have all the time in the world. You have all the time in the world for your business. Make sure your information and everything that they need, the metrics that are needed, is communicated in the simplest way. There is no point of making it sound fancy. Just keep it simple and keep it precise and communicate it well. I think that is so underrated. Have the right elevator pitch. When you ask people about their businesses, they will go on and on explaining you about it because the importance of elevator pitch is not clear. It's simple. People don't have the time. You have very limited time. Just communicate everything crisply in a pitch deck. If you were getting an opportunity to meet them in person, communicate that in person. So I would say it's pitch deck with clear information.
And what are the three metrics or two to three metrics that they must have it in the deck as a part and parcel of the thing which they must be prepared on?
So I would say again, like it varies towards your goals. What are your goals at this point, and why are you raising the money? Again, for us, it was a consumer business, right? So for us, CACs and LTV were the most important. We absolutely could not, even did not want to pursue investors who just wanted profitability. Can't have profitability when you're in a growing stage and you need marketing money. You can't. We need to market, right? We need to hire people for that. We could not be profitable. But our CACs were surprisingly good. We broke even pretty early on, like we had predicted. So for us, it was definitely CACs because we were able to show the lifetime value of a customer. And for that, our strategy also changed. In order, because in our business, it was travel business, you don't have high repeatability. So you have very high cost of acquiring a customer. So for because of that reason, it was one of the challenges. Unless we were able to show them that how we're going to get to a high LTV and repeatability, which will be good in the long run. So for us, that metrics was throughout really important. And then obviously when we started expanding, then those metrics converted and translated to operations as well.
Nice, Neha. And just for people who are tuning in, CAC means customer acquisition cost, which is one of the highest costs, especially if you're doing an online business, to get people to know your brand. And they say that you need to interact with the brand at least, I think it's 13 or 14 times before anybody even like recognizes your brand. And so for a customer brand, consumer facing kind of brand, it becomes so important to manage CACs. And the other term that Neha used was LTV, which is lifetime value, which means how many times will somebody repeat with your brand, right? And the more loyalty you build in into your business strategy from the beginning helps you save tons of money. But a good mix between new customers and repeat customers is the best way to be able to build brands which are sustainable and last the test of time. So think about that very, very strongly. And of course, the people in the room are going to be asking you your questions, live and breathe this every single minute of their lives. So they're going to be looking at that and they're going to be wanting to know if you have answers. And they know it's expensive. So it's all right. If it's expensive, you say it's expensive. And but you need to know why is it so important to have this product or service out in the world, right? So you don't have to hide and make up stories, ki ye kam ho jayega, whatever. Of course, with volume, it will, and that's exactly why you are there. You're there to be able to raise funds so that you're able to scale and control the costs just because of sheer volume. So thank you for those two very important tips, Neha, and I'm sure everybody will just double down on these things, which we keep talking about, and फिर हम लोग भूल जाते हैं that this is important, and especially when you're raising funds, and efficiencies. And like you said, then it's operations, which is the next thing that they look at. How is it that you can streamline your processes and have systems which allow for repeatability over and over again so that the founder is not the one who's doing everything, the team starts doing it. And then with AI, etc., what are the things that you can automate and therefore build in intrinsic efficiencies to be able to reduce time and be able to give the best experience for the customers. So thank you for touching on all those points. Yes.
All right.
Go on, Ankita.
All right. So, do you want to also tell the audience a story where there was any question or anything that happened in a boardroom where you were caught off guard and you had to pivot on your numbers? And there's like the inside scene. Yeah.
My God, there were so many of them, like where you can't predict, right, what the investor is going to ask. But this one we knew actually. We knew the problems we had in the business, right? The fact that we were copied left, right, and center meant that we had low barrier to entry. Right. So that was the question that bugged us the most everywhere. Like, how much will you bet on a founder if they're not able to save their business and protect their business, right? So, like, we took a while to figure that. Like, even our investors, nobody had an answer for that.
How did you solve for that, Neha? I'm so curious. Yeah, how did you solve for that?
I I literally like it just popped out of in one of the internal meetings. It just popped out of me like we need to expand to create a network effect, period. So the question was go deep into the city to create a kind of business that that's helping not just travelers, all kinds of people, and create that unique proposition, or just focus on travelers, because then every other aspect, communication, our partnerships, will be catered to travelers. It'll be a more sort of it'll have a certain target audience, because we also want it to be a brand. So keeping that in mind, I said network effect. Network effect means expansion. Expansion means more money. And more money means like going into every city. And then we had to make this expansion plan, where like within a year and a half, we were able to expand to these cities. So that was
So speed. So you're saying speed is
simplified.
where the differentiation
Yes,
was,
because again,
right?
like we simplified it. We like this is our playbook. for expansion. We are not going deep into any city. We're just making sure that traveler, the same traveler, is using our service everywhere. Period. That is
Hmm.
going to build the loyalty and hence barrier to entry because a business doesn't have, but we can build loyalty. So that's how we kind of solve that problem.
So you were really taking on your first mover advantage and making repeatability as the key to succeed.
Yes, trust, like because we started this, we really went through this, we were not copycats. So it was easier to go deep dive into the problem. And again, like to everybody who's listening and creating, like if you create from your experience and your authenticity, you will find solution to problems that no one else can, only you can. So it is like, I think that came in handy.
That's awesome. And Neha, when you were pitching and you had to give up stake in your business, how much were you ready to part with? And was it hard? Or were you like, how did that go? How
It's
did that
always
negotiation
hard.
go?
It is
Yeah.
always hard. So while we had a structure and framework always with a lot of advice and everything, there's some hard questions, right? Like you don't want to lose control completely, but at the same time, you want the business to grow. So there is some strategy that you have to put into this. So we did also like having two co-founders helped us keep the majority, for example. But again, like we also understood that if we don't part with it right now with the right investors, then we may be compromising. Can we do it without it? If you can, don't part with it. But if you cannot, then you do. Like it's a business decision, really.
Right.
An ego. Of course, don't lose control, but like you can learn from people who've made that
Yeah.
mistakes. But again, like it depends on what your goals are.
Yeah.
And
I
if
love what you said.
hmm.
Sorry, go on, go on, go on.
I said, if you can do it all by yourself,
Yeah.
nothing like it. But
Right. In
like
fact,
so passionate about creating something and offering something to the world,
yeah.
think of it like that.
Right. And also you try and see if you can get strategic partnerships, right? With the people that you're even the VC funds. In fact, recently I heard something which was quite an eye-opener for me by one of our mentors, who's a serial he's invested across the board in so many companies. And he said, I will not get into a business where I will take too much control away from the founders because I want them to have the skin in the game. I want them to know that they are getting something out of it, right? So the whole concept of a win-win situation for all. So I thought that was really refreshing because I always thought they're all vultures, right? And they're out there to take my
Beautiful
pound of
that you said
flesh.
that.
So it was really eye-opening for me. And I was like, yeah, I'm glad that the other side also understands that. There might be a stage where you sell your business completely, but that's another place. But right now, when you're building and you're putting, the basics into place, the founders need to feel that they're really in it, right? So yeah, thank you for that. And this is
Trust
another
is both
perspective.
ways, right? Like
Yeah,
I can't work with somebody if I'm feeling insecure and fearful of, oh my God, where am I
and
going?
they're there to stab my back, right? That's
Like
not a
you
place where
can't
you can
work, you
thrive.
can't really be creative then. So that has to be aside. That's why you have to choose the right people to partner with you, whether it's investors or team. Yeah.
So, what's beyond the check, right? So, one thing that you spoke about was profitability. A VC who's completely looking at profitability, you would be wary of. You're primarily looking at their network, you're looking at their experience. What are the other things apart from money that one should look at while interacting with investors? What can they bring to a consumer business? Because coming from your experience.
Okay, sure. So I would again like step a little back and say that choose the right investors. What that means is that I'll give you an example. So I do speak to a lot of startups, and whoever is say fundraising, they would say, "Can you introduce me to a couple of investors?" And I'm like, "Do you know? Have you done the homework to know which investors will actually add value to your business? Not just money. Anybody can give you a check, but what like what
What else?
what else, like you want people who are truly invested in your growth and in the business, and they want to help you. So first find the right investors. And for us, that meant was that we needed the network. For this, we were very clear. We wanted the
Mm.
network of right people in the travel space. So while Techstars was not able to help us a lot with the travel space partnerships, in terms of investors, we found a lot of right investors, a lot of huge pool of database that helped us do that homework of mapping the right people. That was the most tedious work in fundraising, where you are mapping the right people and then reaching out to them. The second stage is communicating and reaching out to them. Again, don't write an essay, be very specific. First, ask. So, there's a way to communicate, right? First, you have to take an introduction. If you know common people, get an introduction. That's always the best. It coming from somebody who knows.
Referral. Yeah.
So referral, it's always better, right? After that, you put your ask. You write a little bit about what are you looking for, what is your business about. You've done research on them. They're impressed, right? They know that we know, like there's already that first level of trust built. That's the first way to move. Now that when you go into a meeting, talk about it, you don't need multiple meetings. One of our mentors said that, like one of a very seasoned investor mentor said that if they are asking for more than 4 to 5 meetings, they are probably not interested. It's like dating.
Wow.
So that's the trick, like after the fourth.
Right? If somebody is
Start the
interested, you
conversation.
will know. So I that really helped. So that made sure that we did our homework well. We communicated well. We had our numbers, information correctly, and then, well, we would know if they're wasting our time, if we are wasting their time, and how fruitful it's going to be. So
With AI coming in here, right? You get all the with LLMs and all these days. How do you get attention on email and LinkedIn, right? Because everybody's subject lines and all have improved, and how
referrals, referrals.
referrals is the way. So, all right, that
I
is
think for investment fundraising, I would say referrals has an edge. You can always have a great pitch, but there's so much noise out there. Reach out to people directly. You can make yourself stand out, but like referrals in this noisy world, I think they are the best. You have to network, you have to talk to people and find a way to talk to people. Because again, like everybody is if they're an investor, they're interested in making money. If you have an ingredient for that, they would be interested.
all right. Thank you so much. Divya has a question here. Are there finances too other than investors? So, Divya, would you be able to explain that question? You come on.
Uh, what I mean is, investor would mean where you're letting go of, some
Stake
shares,
in the business. Hmm.
and finances would be where they,
Alone.
money, yes, and then does it like over a period of time you return the money with some interest or something like that. Are these the same people or they are different?
No.
I think her question becomes debt versus equity, right? So does she go with a financer or does she go with the investor?
So the way I would answer this is that again, like, what do you need? Do you just need the money, and you know exactly what you're going to do with the money? Maybe it's a better deal for you. But it let get an investor if they can add more value more than money. They can also be a mentor. They can also be a partner. They are invested in you. They will make introductions for you. Then you go for an investor because then you're also giving away your equity in your share. So that's how you differentiate. I hope that answered you.
Yes, yes, yes. It gives me a new perspective. Thank you.
I love that differentiation, and so rightfully said, Neha, right? So yeah, I think that would have been very useful for people who are always struggling. Do I go to a bank and get a loan? Do I take a loan from somebody who I know, vis-a-vis looking at equity? Thank you for that. And yeah, there's a segment before we go into question answers with everybody here to just kind of make it fun. We thought we'll do a rapid fire round. So are you ready, Neha?
Let's
Let's
see.
shake it up a little. Are you ready? I think, and actually, before the rapid fire round, is there any exercise or tip that you would give people now, with your yoga and all this expertise that you got into before you get into stressful situation? Like, think of yourself in a boardroom where you're going to be asked like really important existential questions. Is there any tip that you want to share with everybody? Maybe some
I think
breathing exercise, something that
I
you
think Ankita will also agree. I mean, Ankita can also share, but I would say just deep breaths. Like that's it. You already know
yeah.
everything that you need to know. You know,
Okay,
just
great.
breathe and contain that and go in. The maximum, like, and be okay to make mistakes and be embarrassed. It's all right.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think I
yeah.
think it's okay. I think if you're clear
So,
and fumble, it's fine.
so be ready to take your deep breaths right now
Am
because
I
we are going to
fumbling?
be, we'll have more fun if you do.
Yeah.
Okay, so are you ready?
Yes.
So tell us about an investor who added value beyond money. What did they do for you?
Oh, wow. Like I said, all our investors that we got on board did help us beyond money. And that included discussing personal problems. You know, it is so important to be able to do that as well with your investors because
Mm.
you're humans, right? We somehow don't talk about the human aspect, the emotions that go in, the fear of failure that is, by the way, most of the time haunting us than those the success, those the high of success. It's mostly like, why am I doing this? Like, will I be able to do this? So there, our investors actually helped us, especially people in in the Techstars community who were our accelerators and our lead investors in the beginning helped us.
Can you see your investor as a friend and who can discuss personal problems as well?
No, you have to still draw a line.
Not a friend.
Like, don't be
Know the boundary.
completely crazy.
The boundary yet.
Show all your colors, maybe, but some because
Thoda
they
bahut.
gone through. So again,
Mm.
it's a two-way street. So
Mm.
these guys who we would share everything with first would share their own
Yes.
stories. Like,
There's an equality in every relationship, right? Even if
yeah,
it's between a person who's seeking for funds as well as the person who's giving. I think maintain that equality
yeah,
in any place.
yeah, there has to be that
Yeah.
because then
Yeah. It's two ways.
human done that, made mistakes, was an
Yeah.
alcoholic,
Yeah.
still raised
Yeah.
like sold his company for $400 million,
Yeah.
and now he's a so
Yeah.
huge respect. He understands what
Right.
the low points look like. So I think yeah, definitely helped with that.
Love that. Love that. Next question. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Most people think fundraising is about dash, but in reality, it's about dash.
Well, most people think it's about the big checks and glory.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
it's really about fears and sleepless nights and questioning why are you doing that and answering
Mm.
everybody who cares about you as to why you're doing that. Like, you doubt it all the time and day to day it gets really difficult. So it is
Yeah.
knowing that that fear is there and yet showing up every day, yet showing up every
Right.
day. It is
Right.
really about that courage to be able to do it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Neha. So true. So true. Totally resonate with every word that you just said. All right, you're doing really well. How's it going for you? Are you feeling like you can crack the next few? All right. Okay, here goes. Angels, VCs, or corporates? Pick one fast and why.
Whew. Angels, like the name suggests. Why? Because smaller checks, more involvement, more investment in other ways. It would seem like control also sometimes. It might. When the angel investors say give you smaller checks, they would be more involved asking questions. But if you take it in your stride, they can be very, very helpful. So I would
Mm,
prefer that, but then VCs also because they can give you bigger checks and bigger networks. And corporate, if your life doesn't depend on it, you know.
mm.
So yeah.
Right. Awesome. What role did the investors play after they invested?
Yeah, so again, it was helping us step by step whenever we needed, being making themselves available. So after they're given the money, they also ask for updates that you have to give. It's not like a
Mm.
weekly update, it's quarterly updates at times. And they're always available for introductions. They're always available for, getting on a call and discussing a certain specific problem. So many times I remember, like, we would just reach out to an investor in our network, and we would just through LinkedIn really helped us. So we would find people and see the common contact, and if they were in our network of investors, we would just simply reach out for an introduction. As I said, referrals
Mm.
really are important.
Yeah,
So
I
A
love that.
massive tip for the audience.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
tip for the
Oh,
audience.
now we want to embarrass you a bit. So, the cringiest fundraising advice you ever got.
Cringiest. I don't know if it would be advice. I can't really think of anything but wrong advice, like, so many times. Like, shut it down, why are you doing this? This
Oh
is
gosh, yeah.
this is not
And
needed.
that's not the voice in your head. That's another person saying that.
That's, yeah, so
Because I
but
think a lot
after a
of
point that
times,
didn't bother, because we would tell ourselves,
yeah.
great, I respect your opinion because you're giving this opinion based on your experience. Highly respect
Hmm.
that, but I believe in this. So those are the times when you're like, "Hey, I want to do this. I'm crazy enough to do this, even if right now people don't believe it." So yeah, like, so many times that wrong advice and pulling you down really happens, even if it's not intentional. It's okay. You believe in yourself.
Yes, yes, yes. Like 1,000 points for that, right? You believing in yourself really at the end of the day
Yeah,
keeps you
question
going.
yourself for sure, but like, start believing, like, showing up.
Hmm, yeah. So you did talk about the importance of a pitch deck. So, which is the one belief that instantly improved your pitching game?
One belief.
Yeah, something that, or
One
maybe
deep
some tip that somebody gave you that just changed it.
Um, so do you mean what did I change in a pitch deck? Something that I changed in a pitch
Whatever,
deck that
whatever's coming up for you, whatever's coming for
so,
you. Yeah, maybe
I'll
something that really got
shorten it,
turned around the whole thing.
I think all remove all the fancy stuff and have just the right information. Remove the
Hmm.
paragraphs.
Keep it
It's not
simple, like you
needed.
said.
the
Hmm.
KISS
It's simple.
model.
Like, keep it very, very simple. Have more demos, like, if possible, in your pitch deck itself.
Hmm.
Have, um, like, for us, like, for a consumer business, have a profile done for a customer and then have a story behind it. I think having that story for your solving your business problem just relates and resonates with the audience. So I remember we gave this presentation at a New York club, like, where all these entrepreneurs from all over came, and we had to literally play the part on stage. It
Hmm.
was
Ah,
they
role played
they
it.
told us that we had to do that. So I thought it was a great idea, and then also, like, added that into our pitch deck, and it really helped, like a story. So that was really cool.
Hmm.
Mm.
Amazing. And the last question is fundraising is actually dash.
It's an emotional roller coaster.
Hmm. Yes, yes,
Awesome.
yes. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much, Neha. Really. You made it so much fun.
Likewise.
I would also want to take the time and ask the audience if they would want to come forward. And what is that one thing that's kept you from reaching out to the investors? Type in the chat. And if you have any questions for Neha, this is the time. Please raise your digital hands or just come online. Come on,
Yeah,
camera.
do come on camera if possible. Yeah, it'll be lovely to see your faces as well.
Rohit, Manveer, Mahesh, Divya.
Hi guys, I'm Manveer
Any
here.
Hi,
So good to
Manveer.
see
Hi,
you here.
Mandir.
Hi, Neha, especially Ankita, all the my yoga, uh, I can say the partner, their practitioner, and I'm just new about it, the investing and all the things, many things. I was just hearing the things, what you guys are saying, and I'm trying to understand what is it because I never been into it. I was thinking 2 years ago, to start my own things, and I went to then few places in online where the people have the invested, find the investor and new startup. There was a guy with me. We was doing the some digital marketing course. There was a guy, he was doing his own startup. There is about the eye drop. So I don't know much about it, but it's good to hear about from you guys, and I'll listen more about it, and maybe who knows, yes, to what comes in the you know in future. So nice to hear Neha from you, Ankita, and Jarnil. What is Nena? So
So,
thank you,
Thank
thank you so much, Manveer, for joining in
thank
and
you.
giving us your time and learning from this session. Really appreciate you
Yeah,
taking the time.
great. Thank you.
All right. If nobody has any comments or questions, then one legacy flash forward question I have for you, Neha. If you, at your 90-year-old, what legacy would you want to leave for the founders and communities?
I hope I live that long.
Absolutely, with all the yoga and all the work that you've been doing.
I would just I wish people create from like an authentic heart space. Like really, because as I shared from my experiences, you will have more depth, insight into the solution. You will ask better questions. You will create better if you're creating from that space. And if I can inspire people to be able to do that, I think mission accomplished.
Thank you so much for that incredible answer. And I really love the way what we said, creating heart-centric businesses. That's also Zach's mission, as well as what we live by every day. So really, thank you so much for taking time and even taking a half day for our community and being here and sharing your wisdom around the real side of fundraising, because that's not easy. Everybody laces it up with different metrics and words, and this is what you need to do for your fancy pitch deck. But you kept it really real, honest, and gave some really wise words of wisdom. And I'm sure that would have helped a lot of us here, and including us. Right? So I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
I've
And
had a lot of fun.
and if your startup is ready and you are ready to tighten up your elevator pitch or slide decks, as Zach team also, we are here to help and support you. Sakshi will drop in a clarity call link. And if any of you, we would also love to be a part of your startup's journey. Happy to support and help. Just Sakshi, drop in the link. And Zareen, over to you.
I think just a quick, for us to summarize everything, do type in the chat box. What is your key takeaway from today's session? What is that you're going to go home with, at the end of what Neha had to share with us? So all of us can just kind of summarize. It will be great to hear from you all. Those who have not asked questions, just type in maybe a word or two about what is your big aha moment from here. Would love to hear from you. Great. And on that note, thank you all. Have a lovely, lovely week ahead, an excellent weekend, and happy building businesses with heart. And wishing you all the best to on this journey that you're going on. Take care.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Neha. Lovely meeting you. Thank you, everyone, for
Bye,
joining.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.